Hey guys, so today we'll be working on Standard 61, which is multiplying polynomials. By the end of this video, you'll have learned two methods. The first, which is double distribution, and the second, which is the box method. Previously, you've taken a monomial times a polynomial, but today we're going to be doing two polynomials. Okay, so the first example we're going to do is double distribution. So if you think back to first semester, we did distribution. This is going to be the same thing. We're just doing it twice. So what we have is a binomial times a binomial. In order to expand this out, we're going to take the very first term in our first binomial, and we're going to multiply it through to both of the terms in the second binomial. So we're going to skip over and multiply 2x by x, and then we're going to multiply 2x by 5. When we take 2x times x, we get 2x squared. Remember, when we have an x times an x, that becomes x squared. And then we take 2x times 5, which gives us a 10x. Now this is double distribution because I'm going to distribute twice. Next, I'm going to take my positive 3, and now I'm going to distribute that through to both the x and the 5 in the second binomial. Positive 3 times x gives me a positive 3x. I don't want to forget my sign. And then I take 3 times 5, which gives me a positive 15. Next, what I'm going to do is I'm going to look in my expanded form here and see if I have any like terms I need to combine. I do. In this case, I have a 10x and a 3x. When I combine those, that gives me 13x. Now I bring down everything else that I didn't combine. So I have a 2x squared plus 13x plus 15. This is my simplified version. So what we just did was double distribution. Now we're going to do the same problem but use the box method. So how the box method works is it looks at each of your polynomials. In each polynomial I have two terms, so I'm going to draw a box which is a 2 by 2. So it just looks like a box with 4 squares, 2 by 2. We're going to take our first polynomial, which is 2x plus 3, and I'm going to write it at the top of my box. So I have a 2x above this first box here, and above the second box I have a positive 3. And I'm going to take my second binomial, which is x plus 5, and write it down the left-hand side of my box. The first term was an x, it goes in front of the first box. The second term was a plus 5, it goes in front of the second box. Now here is what we're going to do next. In this very first box here, we're going to take the number that's on the top and the number that's on the side, and we're going to multiply those and put them in this first purple box. So I'll take 2x times x, which gives me 2x squared. Next, I'm going to take my positive 3 on top and the x on the side, and I'm going to put their product in this box here. So 3 times x gives me a 3x. Next, I am going to take what I have in my top box, or above my top box, 2x, and what I have to the left of my bottom box, 5. I'm going to multiply those and put their product in this box here. So 2x times 5 gives me 10x. I'm going to do the same thing for my last box over here. I'm going to take the product of 3 and 5, which is 15. So now that I have everything in my box, I'm going to take each of these terms and add them together. So what we'll have is our purple term first, which is 2x squared, plus our yellow term, which is 3x, plus our turquoise term, which is 10x, plus our green term, which is 15. Once I have the sum of each of those terms written out, I'm going to check to see if I have any like terms to combine, and in this case I have a 3x and a 10x, and when I combine those I get a 13x. I bring down everything that I didn't touch, which is a 2x squared plus that 13x and then plus 15. This is my simplified version. you'll notice that whether we use our first method, which is double distribution, or we use our box method, we're going to get the same simplified answer. So let's try this with a new problem. I have the third example, which is 2y minus 7 times 3y plus 5. We're going to start with double distribution, so I'm going to take my 2y and multiply it through to 3y and plus 5. So what I'll have is 2y times 3y. I need to multiply my coefficients first, which gives me a 6, and then y times y is a y squared. And now I'll do 2y times 5, which gives me a positive 10y. Now I go on to my second term, which is a negative 7, and multiply that through to both terms in the next polynomial. So I have negative 7 times positive 3y gives me a negative 21y. Be very careful about positive negatives. And then I have negative 7 times positive 5, which gives me a negative 35. I now need to combine my like terms. So what I'll end up having is 6y squared minus 11y minus 35. And here is my final answer. We're going to try this again using the box method. Okay, so this time I already have my box laid out, but I'm going to go ahead and write out my terms. So on the top of my box, I'll have a 2y and then a negative 7. Oops. Going down the side will be my green. I have a 3y and a positive 5. Okay, so this time I'm going to kind of forego the colors. In my top box here, I'll have 2y times 3y, which gives me 6y squared. My second box, I'll have negative 7 times 3y, and I get a negative 21y. Down here, I'll have 2y times 5, which gives me a 10y. And then finally, I'll have negative 7 times positive 5, which is a negative 35. I'm going to add everything up in the boxes together. So I have 6y squared plus negative 21y plus 10y plus negative 35. We know when we have plus a negative, we can go ahead and just turn that into a negative. So wherever I see plus a negative, I know that's going to be a negative. When I rewrite, I have 6y squared minus 21y plus 10y minus 35. I'm going to go ahead and combine my like terms, so in this case negative 21y and 10y, getting my final answer of 6y squared minus 11y minus 35. Again, we get the same answers if we did double distribution. So I've shown you two methods. It's your turn for your U-tries. Try both of them. Choose whichever method you prefer. You can try both if you like. Bring both questions in tomorrow. Try your hardest. Remember, in order to get your credit, you need to have both at least attempted. Good luck!